This is Lemmy with RevZilla TV, here to talk to you today about Kuryakyn Levers for Harley. You should probably be considering a set of Kuryakyn levers if you want to make your bike look a little bit different or you want it to work a little bit differently, specifically in the hand control area. So Kury's cranking these things out, but because of how HDs are, these levers are going to fit just about every Harley made in the past 30 years or so. Just about all of you will be able to find an application. Use our bike finder, throw your bike in there. We're going to show you just the levers that fit your motorcycle exclusively. Now, installation on these is not too bad. You're looking at either a difficult one or an easy two-beard on this particular installation. There's a couple little snafus and pitfalls, nothing that's too awful terrible. Let's get right into things. So I'm going to start this off with an admission of guilt. I'm one of those people, perhaps you're the same way, who thought Kuryakyn just made chrome doodads. That's not really true. After a more careful examination of their product catalog, once we started working with them here at RevZilla, I realized they do make some pretty serious functional parts, and a couple of them are up here on the table. I'll tell you a little bit about them. So with respect to levers, most people are changing them because they want things to feel a little bit different, they want them to look a little different. There's really not too much to them, it's not really a very deep topic. So for those of you who are just looking for a different, fresh look, you can see we got a pair of their zombie levers sitting in front of me here. We have a black finish and a chrome finish. They come in both. These things are kind of cool. They have a pretty noticeable ridged look about them. Gives your fingers a comfortable place to hang out while you're zipping down the road. They also include these cool medallions, these coins that'll fit in there, give you some different looks. You can see here we have a skull style. They also offer this ball milled piece over here. It's going to bring a little fresh flavor to your bike. And again, this is one of those pieces I think style driven. This is just to make your bike look a little bit different. Now when it comes to function, however, there are some other options out there. They have the Boss blade levers. The Boss blade's kind of cool. Harley levers have this dog leg in them, and the Boss blade tends to increase that dog leg a little bit. This can be really helpful for those of you who have a reduced reach. You can't quite get to the bars. Think of those of you with smaller hands, you're going to want to look into these. One of the other cool parts with the Boss blades, you can get these things, and they have a sport bike style clicker on here. Anybody who's ridden a metric sport bike probably has run into one of these, at least on the clutch side, if not on both levers. It's particularly important on Harleys on the clutch side because the clutch is really hard to pull on most Harleys. Originally, those clutches were designed for foot use. So when they switched them over to hands, they really were taking a very hard to operate piece and making you use a much smaller piece of your body in order to operate that. So what this clicker does is actually moves this thing, lets you set it adjustably closer to the bar so you can again reduce that reach a little bit. So I have an old crusty junker. This is a factory, clutch lever that comes on one of these things, and if we line these puppies up so you can check out exactly the difference between them, you can see on its furthest setting here, this thing really does move the lever closer to the bars. The Boss blade just sits closer to the handlebars than a factory lever is going to. And again, because you have that clicker on the clutch side, you can adjust exactly where that's going to sit, as opposed to the stock Harley, clutch lever. It is what it is. If it doesn't fit you, sorry. So I really do like the Boss blades, but I have to be honest, I think my favorite product in their whole category are the trigger levers. These trigger levers really are super nifty. I didn't really ever give these much thought when I saw them on a guy's bike before. I just figured it was another place to grab 2 fingers worth of brake or clutch and move right on. Until a buddy turned me on to the fact that these things are very helpful for people who have weak hands, but also for people who have damage. So I'm thinking older people, folks who have maybe possible nerve damage, you don't have as much strength going to that left hand or right hand anymore, and also returning war vets. I know some of those guys have suffered some pretty terrible injuries. I've definitely seen some folks riding bikes with these on there, and I didn't really put 2 and 2 together and figure out why they were on the motorcycle. This little trigger here, aside from looking cool, gives your fingers an extra place to grab some purchase. You can get a little more purchase there. You can get a better grip on this thing. So it really can be a help for those of you who are having problems with hand strength. If you've ever heard of them, a light clutch can also be helpful too. We offer the Burley Easy Boy. Couple one of those up with perhaps a set of trigger levers, and I think some of you may find that your once unmanageable clutch becomes something you can actually tame. You can run the thing in traffic and you're not going to worry about stalling your bike out. For that reason alone, I think Kuryakyn Levers definitely get my vote. So moving on to the installation portion of things, as I said, this is either going to be a difficult 1-beard or an easy 2-beard or BSD or beard scale of difficulty. Most of you should be able to get this done with fairly standard hand tools. You are going to have to know how to adjust a clutch cable. If that's something you're not familiar with doing, definitely have a service manual handy so you can get through the process. Not difficult. Most of you should be able to do that. Absolutely no sweat. The one item of note I would want to say is make sure you have a set of snap ring pliers in your toolbox. If you don't have snap ring pliers, this job is difficult, if not downright impossible. So if you don't have a set, pick some up or borrow some from a buddy. We also sell some on the site. So I'm hoping you can tell at the end of this video that I am actually a really big fan of Kuryakin Levers. However, my opinion is not the only game in town. Click below, see what some folks who are already rocking a set of Kuryakin Levers in their bike have to say about them. If you've got a question beyond that, you can always leave me a comment down below in the comment section, or you can get in touch with one of our gear geeks. You can get one by phone, 877-792-9455, or dash us off a quick email, cs@revzilla.com. I'm Lemmy, I'm out of here.